Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. أما بعد أحبتي في الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أسأل الله كريم رب العرش العظيم أن يتولنا في الدنيا والآخرة. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, accepts our good and forgives our evil, protects us from kulli su wa makruh. أحبتي في الله, it came in a hadith عن عبد الله بن عمرو بن العاص رضي الله تعالى عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: المسلم من سلم مسلمون من لسانه ويده، والمهاجر من هجر ما نهى الله عنه. متفق عليه. This hadith of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, the hadith of Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu ta'ala, that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Al-Muslim man sallam al-Muslimun min lisanihi. The Muslim is the one who the other Muslims are safe from his tongue. Get out of here. Ahabati fillah, it's very important for us to know and understand that we are to be, we'll be held accountable for our tongue, how we speak about people, what we say about people. But we do also have to know as Muslims that no doubt there is something called commanding the good and forbidding the evil in Islam. And that, yes, sometimes it becomes necessary to speak about another Muslim who is a mukhalif, meaning they are calling people to the hellfire. They are calling people to Jahannam. They are calling people away from the Sabil al-Mu'mineen. Then there should be no shame in that. In fact, a person is rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for doing so if they have the knowledge, if they are bringing evidence, if they are supporting what they are saying in their warning against the people of bid'ah and desires and sin. So we have to know that is not ala itlaq. That is not in all circumstances. That there's a time and a place to refute and to speak about that which is harming the Muslim community, which can come in the form of human devils who are speaking and lying about Allah's religion and distorting the principles of Ahlus Sunnati wal Jama'ah and causing an harm and a deviation to the deen. It's very important for us to know that the base principle that the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam informed us is that the Muslim, meaning the true Muslim, al-Muslim haqiqi, al-Muslim man sallam al-Muslimun min lisanihi wa yadihi, that the true Muslim, the best of the Muslims, are those who other Muslims, they're safe from his or her tongue, and they're safe from his or her hand, meaning you don't want to harm another believer. And again, as I said, there are those exceptions that the scholars have mentioned and detailed in their books. This is how the religion was preserved, and this is mishru'. This is from the Quran and the Sunnah, that there are times that it becomes necessary to make a person's bid'ah and deviancy and mistakes known, because it's a harm to the rest of the community, so that people don't fall into that. And there comes a time to reprimand and rebuke people in order, as a sort of tarbiyah, to bring them back to the sunnah of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. And what's very important for us to know here is not to make tajawuz, not going beyond the bounds. So even when you're speaking about the people of bid'ah and desires, you can't lie, you can't exaggerate, you can't do things, go into their personal details, or things that have no Sharia-based maqsad. They have no Sharia-based intent and purpose. But rather, you have to have the appropriate balance based on truth and justice, and at the same time with clarity of clarifying the mistakes that the community needs to be away from. So the Prophet ﷺ said, a Muslim, man salama muslimun min lisanihi wa yadihi. So this is the true Muslim, is the one who the other Muslims are safe from his tongue and safe from his hands, that he's not going to harm people. He's not going to harm people with his tongue nor with his fists. And then the Prophet ﷺ said something very important, because a lot of people ask about this question, about hijrah. And the Prophet ﷺ said, wal muhajir, meaning the one who makes hijrah. Man hajira ma naha Allahu anhu. That the muhajir, the person who makes this hijrah, is the one who makes hijrah. They leave those things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prohibited. And this is a hadith in Bukhari and Muslim. Ahabati fillah, this hadith is azim. This hadith gives us a lot of important Islamic values, manners, the way we interact with one another. And it shows us the Muslim haqiqi, the one who's really strong in practicing his or her iman, that they are trying to safeguard their tongue and their limbs from harming others. And that's a very important Islamic trait. Also, the one who makes hijrah, yes, this is azim, to make hijrah from the land of disbelief to the land of belief. Okay, leaving a non-Muslim country to go to a Muslim country, or leaving a place where there's a lot of sin to go to a place where there's much less sin. This is azim, because that will help you in the environment. It'll help you be with the numbers of the Muslims. So many benefits. But the muhajir, that is one of the greatest forms of hijrah, is the one who leaves his or her sins. They leave off the things Allah prohibits, because you can still leave the land of belief and go to the land of disbelief and go to the land of belief and still be doing major sins. Some people even find that they end up beginning to do sins they never did when they were in a non-Muslim environment. So it shows us the environment alone does not determine the outcome. But it's very important that you have jihad an-nafs, that you're working on your soul so you can be a better believer in whatever environment that you're in. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, ittaqullah mastata'tum, fear Allah as much as you can. And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, ittaqullah haythuma kunt, fear Allah wherever you are. So when in any and all circumstances, we are still ordered to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as possible. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal, the Almighty, to accept our good and forgive our evil, protect us from kulli su wa makruh. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.